All right, so good morning everybody. Apologies na hindi natapos yung first video hanggang 13 lang. So this is part 2 of balancing chemical equations. And let's jump right into number 14. Okay? So for number 14, we have a double displacement reaction between aluminum bromide and potassium sulfate producing aluminum sulfate and potassium bromide. So let's let's start. Now, there's one aluminum atom on the reactant side, and there are two aluminum atoms on the product side. So therefore, to make the aluminum atom on the left 2, you have to multiply this one by 2 as well. And with that, aluminum is balanced. Now, because bromine is beside Al in AlBr3, and we now have a coefficient of 2, so the number of atoms of bromine will now be affected. Originally, it's 3, but because you have the coefficient 2, the number of bromine atoms will become 2 times 3 equals 6. And on the right side, since it's only one bromine atom, that means you have to multiply KBr by 6. And with that, bromine is now balanced. Lastly, to balance K, so because KBr now has a coefficient of 6, there will now be 6 potassium atoms. However, on the reactant side, there are only 2 potassium atoms. So for 2 to become 6, we have to multiply K2SO4 by 3. Balancing potassium. And lastly, so because of the coefficient 3 in K2SO4, you now have 3 groups of the sulfate ion. And because there are also 3 groups of sulfate in Al2SO4 3, then that means the entire equation is going to be balanced. Now, last item, number 15, we have a single replacement reaction, Ag plus AuMnO43 yielding Au plus AgMnO4. I think the best way to start is with MnO4 for manganate because silver Ag and gold Au are already balanced as of the moment. So let's start with permanganate MnO4. There are 3 groups of permanganate on the left side, and there is only 1 group of permanganate on the right side or the product side. So for the permanganate in the product side to become 3 groups as well, we have to multiply AgMnO4 by 3. Balancing permanganate. And lastly, because you put 3 in AgMnO4, Ag will now be affected. So now we have 3 times 1 silver atoms. However, on the left, there is only 1 silver atom. That's why we have to multiply Ag by 3. And because gold is not affected, then therefore, the remaining coefficients will be simply 1. That's why the coefficients for number 15 are 3, 1, 1, and 3. Now, last is, sorry for that, number 9. I skipped number 9 a while ago because it's the one that's totally different from the rest of the equations. Okay? So, number 9 is a combustion reaction by burning C10H22. I think that's decane with oxygen gas, producing gaseous carbon dioxide and water vapor or water in gaseous form. So what makes this one different from the combustion examples we balanced earlier? So just like what I said in combustion, you must balance first carbon, followed by hydrogen, and lastly, we have oxygen. So on the reactant side, we have 10 carbon atoms, and on the product side, you only have 1 carbon atom. So to make the product side contain 10 carbon atoms, you have to multiply CO2 by 10. Next. There are 22 hydrogen atoms on the reactant side, and there are only 2 hydrogen atoms on the product side. So for 2 to become 22, we have to multiply H2O by 11. That leaves us with oxygen as our unbalanced element. So there are 2 oxygen atoms on the reactant side. There's 20, or there are 20 oxygen atoms in 10 CO2. Why 20? Because 10 coefficient times 2, the subscript of oxygen, so that's 20. Plus, you have 11 times 1 equals 11 oxygen atoms with 11 H2O. So let's just simplify all the values on the product side, right? There are 2 oxygen atoms on the reactant side, and there are 20 plus 11 or 31 oxygen atoms in the product side. So as you can see, oxygen atoms are unbalanced because there are only 2 on the reactant side and there are 31 on the product side. So how do we make each of them attain the same amount of, equal number of atoms? Okay, here's the thing. Normally, when you see 10 plus 11 here, you assume that you just simply add 31. Or simply put 31 with O2. The problem is, because you have the subscript O2, if you put 31 like that, it will just be 31 times 2. And even if you put 31 on the left side of O2, so the left side now contains 31 times 2, or 62 oxygen atoms, while the right side will maintain 31 atoms. So for 31 times 2 to become 31, we have to divide this side by 2. That's why there will be a denominator of 2 here. And with that, the equation is already balanced. However, we have a coefficient here that is not a whole number. That's 31 over 2. That's a fraction. That's a rational number. And in balancing chemical equations, we never use fractions. We only use whole numbers. So we have to multiply the entire equation by 2 to eliminate the denominator. So let's start with C10H22. The original coefficient is 1, and then times 2, that will become 2. Next, for 31 over 2 times 2, the new coefficient will now be 31. Now, for CO2, we have coefficient of 10 times 2, we have 20. And finally, for H2O, we have 11 times 2, we have 20. So, here are now the coefficients of the combustion equation. We have 2, 31, 20, and then 22 for water as well. All right, so that's all for today. And I hope you've learned a lot. There are different techniques, strategies, and methods to balance chemical equations. You always start with the element that is unbalanced already. You may also start with groups, the one with polyatomic species inside the parentheses. As long as when you start, you know that it's going in the right direction, wherein everything is straightforward. Okay? So I suggest that in your handout, try reprinting it again and start balancing it from 1 to 15. And then make sure that once you practice it by yourself, you're improving and you're speeding up as well in your calculations of your solutions. So that's all. And if you have any questions, just PM me in my Facebook. Bye-bye.